So I know you saw. I don't know if you play games that much anymore. I know you saw what happened in Fallout 76, dude. How's it feel, man? That
uh,
that the company that the games we grew up with, something Fallout, like Fallout 3 for me, Fallout New Vegas, and Fallout 4, just to see just to see everything go down the shitter, man.
it's,
Just from a rushed product.
it's not exactly surprising. I mean, what they were trying to do didn't interest me first of all, so I wasn't like hyped for it to begin with.
They were taking away all the single player elements to it, man. It was like everything's gonna be played. It was like, no, that's not gonna work. Because
Yeah,
first of all, your other games didn't work that well to begin
yeah,
with.
exactly.
So I don't know what you were planning on doing over here with that.
Yeah, I hope this serves as a wake up call. I'm kind of optimistic about this. Like,
I mean, I hope so too. But now you're seeing sort of something similar happen with what was it? Blizzard recently signed under
yeah,
Activision, and what's happening is you get all these. I'm probably being ignorant about it, but you get all these CPAs where they come in and their responsibility is to make money,
hmm
so they don't understand. Kind of like when a politician comes in and says, "I want this done." Well, who's going to figure out? It's got
yeah.
to be you guys in the trenches who got to figure it out, and that's kind of that's what's happening to AAA gaming. I think.
It seems like it. I mean, yeah, they just want to make money. I mean, there's nothing wrong with wanting to
Nothing
make
wrong.
money, of course, but
Dude, nothing wrong with that,
you
dude.
sacrifice long term gains for short term profit, like what they seem to be doing with all their microtransactions and loot boxes and things of that nature.
Yeah, Battlefield 5 was a flop though.
Yeah,
It's undersold, I think by a million or something.
something like that.
What the company expected, they undersold, but it's
They
okay.
still made a lot of money though,
They still made a lot,
but
but
it wasn't what they wanted. So
it's kind of like Nicki Minaj or something complaining. Oh, I only got 200,000 sales in the first week.
yeah, exactly.
Like that's great, but I guess for AAA artists like that, that's pretty dog shit to them. I guess.
Yeah, I suppose.
If you can, kind of tilt the mic up to you. That was my bad.
Nah, you good, man.
Yeah.
There we go.
Well, I'll just edit that in post. But yeah, man. There's some games I'm looking forward to. Like, there's Cyberpunk 2076.
Cyberpunk
You seen
is.
that?
I'm so excited for that. I mean,
Did you play Witcher at all?
I did. CD Projekt Red. Those guys know how to make a game. They know what they're doing.
Dude, it's so great.
And
I'm so glad they haven't like EA or any of these major publishers haven't touched them yet. Yet, I say yet. So.
yeah, I mean, you listen to a lot of the stuff that they say or read stuff that they post, and you can tell that they're really passionate about making games and giving people the best product. So
Right. And then you got to think about studios. You got to think there's a price to that though, because I don't know. I think did you play Red Dead Redemption 2 yet?
no, I don't think I'm going to play it. To be honest, I didn't play the first one.
Oh man, but it's so good because it's a prequel to the first one.
I hear that, but
But what I was trying to say was apparently because of how good the game was, the studio you were talking about that they have a passion for games, but Rockstar they were very passionate about Red Dead Redemption 2, and supposedly there were some reports of employees were basically overworking themselves or the studio was overworking them to get this product out. So there's kind of this weird, I guess, play between balance and work, but
yeah,
I don't know. But it was still a good game, dude. Um, do you play Metro at all whatsoever? Because Metro,
like Exodus, like the new one that's coming out.
yeah, it's coming out this Friday. Actually.
Yeah, I played whatever the second one's called. Was it? I can't remember now.
Was it 2035?
2033 was the first one. Then there was the second one. I can't believe it's the one I played, but I can't remember the name of it. But that one was really good.
I get that mixed up with Stalker all the time.
I never played Stalker, but I heard about it.
Yeah, dude, it's super fun. But
is that like what kind of game is that?
Think of it like an open world Metro.
Okay.
I don't know if that makes sense, but think of it like the Dark Souls of a survival shooter. That's
Dark
what
Souls.
it
was. Anytime you say Dark Souls, I'm on board, man.
Did you play Dark Souls 3?
I've played all of them. The only one I haven't played is Demon Souls.
Oh, you should, dude. Demon Souls is great, man.
Yeah,
Great.
I want to get that, but I didn't have a PS3. Yeah, PS3,
yeah,
so
PS3.
I couldn't play it. I mean, I can go buy one now and play it, but
it's funny because the game's difficult just because how shitty the mechanics are. If you think like, obviously, because that game's I don't know what year that game came out in, but it's just hard because your controls suck. Kind of like when you play games where your camera angles just suck, and that's the only reason that makes it hard. Kind of like Resident Evil, like the original one.
Exactly. I love the original one though.
You've seen the remakes?
I played the remake. I didn't play the Resident Evil 2 remake yet. I don't have that, but I played the remake of the first one, and that,
Oh, the remake, they knocked it out of the park, dude.
yeah, it was solid.
Yeah, dude. Speaking of video games, I hear you're composing for, or that's your side hustle, composing for video game music, basically. So
Yeah.
talk about, kind of like, skim on the surface what you can talk about, and kind of delve into that a little bit.
Well, there's not a whole lot I could talk about at the moment. The company that I'm doing it for is going through some changes, and they're going to go public in March. But essentially, I am on board as a part-time composer,
Okay, I
and
see.
that's pretty much all I can share at the moment. But not to sound like I'm doing some secret agent type stuff, but I don't also want to go to jail. So
No, I feel you, dude. Are you under an NDA right now?
I am.
No, I feel you. So what? So how'd you get that gig in the first place? Were you looking for it, or did someone find you?
A little bit. I mean, I was looking through discussion boards and I saw a post on a site called IndieDB. I don't know if you're familiar with that site.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Elaborate with me. And also pull up the mic again. Here, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go over there and fix that real quick.
Oh, you good?
All right, yeah.
But IndieDB is just a site where like indie game developers go to post stuff about new games that they're making, and they can also post job ads. And there was a job ad on there from this company asking for composer. So I just emailed them and saw. I thought see if they would be interested in what I could do. So I sent them a couple of demos of stuff that I had made. I guess they liked it. So.
Okay, the demo of the stuff you recorded on live piano, or the stuff you made on the DAW.
DAW, both. I sent them some of both. So I did DAW, then sent them some of my classical stuff that I've written.
Okay, and what motivated you to try and get into the industry? Are you trying to go into film, or do you have kind of an exclusive passion towards video games? I know that's kind of
exclusive passion really towards video games. I mean, that's what I grew up with. A lot of the stuff that influences me as a composer, even for my classical stuff, was influenced by video games. In fact, I remember I performed one of my pieces at a concert, or at one of the recitals when I was studying at UAB. And I remember somebody coming up and talking to me, and they were like, "Your stuff sounds a lot like Final Fantasy." And I was like, I couldn't believe it, because I was like, I thought nobody would actually know what the heck my inspiration was, like in the classical world. But it was just cool that somebody could hear my music and be like, "Hey, it reminds me of that." So
did when you were studying under Dr. Cosma, I don't think he noticed, but it's funny because when all the classical pianists, they say you're very jazz oriented, which you are, but many of them, I don't think they really knew that video games that was one of your main influences. Not saying that jazz wasn't, but
yeah,
that's the first thing they pointed to was jazz, and it wasn't video games.
yeah, and quite frankly, like I don't see jazz being that much of an influence in my music, besides more maybe like harmonies and things like that. But as far as structure and things like other things, jazz was never been a huge inspiration for my classical stuff. Not consciously. I mean, of course, subconsciously it probably plays in a lot of ways.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to ask this best I can. So, what exactly in video games? What aspects of from video games kind of influenced your compositions or the way you write?
Memorability, if that's a word.
Say again.
Memorability.
So
Like
is it
I can still remember like pieces that I used to listen to, like when I played my Sega Genesis when I was like 8, 7 years old, and a lot of that was driven by rhythm and cool melodies. And that's always what I focus on, having some kind of cool rhythmic structure in my pieces and having a standout melody that people can sing along or remember. That's simple, that I don't know, doesn't get lost in all the other stuff going on.
okay? So you're more, the way you remembered it was because of sort of a mechanical kind of the rhythmic way,
Yes.
which is surprising because some people, I think most people, like I would kind of say I remember kind of stuff visually, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Kind of like moments, video games,
Yeah.
and kind of going back to Final Fantasy when I forgot her name gets killed by Sephiroth or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I find that cool that you kind of draw from that instead. Do you have a? Is there? I don't know. I don't know any video game composers. If there's, do you? Are there any you kind of draw inspiration from or like listening to a lot?
Um now I'm gonna forget his name. I don't know how to say his name. It actually is a problem. He composed the Nier soundtrack. I don't know if you know Nier and Nier Automata.
Yeah.
His name is Keiji Okami. I think that's how you say it. But his soundtracks are next level to me. I absolutely love them. Like I have them on CD and I play them in my car sometimes. That's how much I like them.
You still have a CD player in your car?
I do. I only play CDs in my car, to be honest.
Really? You don't
I
have
still
Bluetooth?
make CDs. I'm old like that.
Man,
You know, when I I
crazy
wanted a
thing
car
about
for the longest, I wanted a car just to play CDs. Like I just wanted to put my music and ride around listening to my music, and to this day, I still do that.
Man, isn't it crazy to think about that? CDs are basically dead because everything's everything's digital. Everything's moved towards digital and streaming. It's no longer. It's like I have a DJ friend named Byron, and he sort of talks about this to me whenever we do have a conversation. It's so much easier to carry around a USB flash drive than like 3 crates of vinyl.
It is.
So it helps him a lot. So I just find that crazy because obviously in the music industry, record sales have gone down. They've been down for a long time because everything's so focused on streaming and digital.
Yeah.
And that kind of does a little bit of, well, as we both know, industries come and industries go. Like jobs come and jobs come away.
Yeah.
And it sort of causes a little bit of job displacement. I guess the next question I was going to was I don't know what next question I was going to, but when do you think robots are going to take over the world, dude? Because like I know that seems extreme and crazy, but we're kind of moving towards that in terms of AI kind of replacing jobs. Because here's an example I have, right? When I go park at UAB when I can't find a spot, when I go into those parking spots you gotta pay for, there's not a person sitting there.
No, there's not.
No, it's I press a button, it gives me a ticket. So some say, oh, that's easy, but it's a form of automation. If that makes sense.
No,
yeah, replacing
it does.
a job. You saw this at Walmart too, probably.
Yeah, when I was there. I mean, even just the self-checkout. I went to the self-checkout.
Yeah, man.
I mean, the fact that I didn't have to go talk to anybody to get my stuff and leave. I mean, yeah, I think the robots are to rule the world, to be honest.
So
they're just quietly minding their own business, but
some people say if you don't want robots to take over the world, you just give them a 2-foot power cable.
Yeah,
they can't do anything, dude.
Yep.
Man, but what we can kind of see that I guess this technology in terms of, automation and AI is starting to kind of, take more of a center. I mean, I've heard recently that Amazon is testing out self-driving trucks.
Yeah.
You heard about that too?
I have.
And apparently supposedly they have it at a 98% success rate, which is obviously not good enough because you don't want trucks running into everything or off the road.
Yeah.
So apparently what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to have these trucks go long distance on interstates, for example. And then once you get to your local roads, like where you got to make more decisions, then it goes over to local drivers. But they're also trying this thing where, I don't know how to explain it, but they're trying to probe in. They're basically, flight simulators, right?
Yeah.
They're trying to have it to where the truck drivers are working from home, and basically you kind of probe into the truck and then you drive a little bit and then until the computer adapts and then says, okay, I got it from here.
Yeah.
And that's a new job that's coming up. But the problem is you got all these truck drivers, like roughly 3 million, right? That are now afraid that their job is going to go away.
Yeah.
So here comes the next thing, right? I don't know if you pay attention to social media, if you actually do give a shit about it anymore, but
I actually don't even have any. I have a LinkedIn profile.
That's smart. But people are getting really offended by journalists in particular. It's this funny thing going around called learn to code. And it's basically, in a way, it's like, it's a way of insulting journalists, but it's kind of a cold hard truth of how this world is changing and how markets are changing. You got any opinion on what I just said at all? Or anything you can add to it?
Yeah, I mean, going back to the self-driving car thing, I've always found that fascinating because when you think about it, if your car is driving with a 98% success rate, what's the success rate of a human? You know what I mean? Humans get into accidents all the times. So I think there's a point there where you have to be willing to accept that small amount of error for safer roads. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. If you get what I'm putting it.
No, I get what you're saying because actually truck drivers, they're on a 12-hour limit or a 14-hour limit for driving.
Yeah.
Because if you push them any harder, well, they're gonna start getting into wrecks.
Yeah.
So, that's interesting that you say that. But
No.
here's the problem: you're assuming people are gonna accept change.
Yeah. No. That's why you just make them do it. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah. I mean, it's not going to be easy to accept. I mean, think about the number of industries in this country that are obsolete now. How many people were put out of their jobs when they became obsolete? I mean, this is honestly a byproduct of us moving forward or backwards. I don't know. It depends on how you look at it.
I don't know.
Just moving. This is a byproduct of moving towards something else, and that's what we're doing as a country.
And here's the crazy thing, right? Well, you not only affect the truckers, like let's say Amazon just takes over the roads, like we just start sending Terminators, drive trucks, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're not only affecting the truckers, you're affecting, your truck stops. You're obviously affecting oil.
Yeah.
Although what I'm trying to say is you're gonna affect your local motels because they kind of rely on travel for that income. And did I already say truck stops?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot more things that tie into that market that kind of get affected. And that's what people are worried about. Because, what am I trying to go into? Oh, yeah. I always go back to music, and probably the two people who listen to my show get tired of it. But when it comes to music, there's other things that are connected to it, like your sale of alcohol. If you want to go illegal, well, the sale of drugs and psychedelics.
Yeah.
That kind of relies on that. Whole club scene as well. So there are other markets that interconnect, and I think that's just what people are worried about in a way, and that's why when it comes to a country as large as America, and we have, what am I trying to say? When we have markets and industries that are kind of interconnected, change like that comes a lot slower, in my opinion.
No, it does. It definitely does. You have a lot more to think about. Once you have established yourself a certain way, trying to change it, it's like trying to, I don't know, move a boulder the size of the moon.
Yeah, and that's what, and I know you don't give a shit about politics and news, but I saw this. They call it the Green New Deal, right? Which I get it. We need to. Nothing's wrong with moving away from fossil fuels, but the amount of industries that are connected to it, and the fact that you want to move to that in 10 years, it comes off, idealistic, yeah, but it's very unrealistic because what you're doing, I think what you're doing is you're replacing, your unskilled labor, quote unquote, that's what it's called. Your unskilled labor with jobs that are basically very STEM oriented. And from what I've heard, or independent studies say, what I read up on, it's the retraining rate, like a government the retraining rate of like middle-aged people, for example, it's got a success rate between 0 and 15%.
Yeah.
So it's getting so I guess the bad thing of it is what I'm trying to say is you're kind of eating away at your working class people because now everything's becoming more, STEM oriented. Because I think you told me before the show, you were saying that you're the only one who knows how to code. You work at a firm or?
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
Okay. So there's no one else who knows how to code.
Nope.
Place. So does that? Okay, this sounds messed up. Does that in change? Does that give you more control over what you could do?
Possibly, if I wanted to take it that way, but honestly, they can make do without it. I mean, because I can code, we can do stuff that they haven't been able to do in the past, but they were also making it without me, if that makes sense. Like they could just going back to doing.
They can go back to doing the same thing.
Doing their market that they were in before. I can just expand the market that they can get into, if that makes sense.
Oh, so you expand. You don't necessarily, I'm not trying to rag on you or anything. You're not necessarily making it more efficient. You're just expanding into a different, is that what you're telling me? Or
yes and no. So I can make it more efficient because I can do things that they weren't able to do that they would have to maybe hire somebody else to do, get a subcontractor to do. But we can do it in-house now. So I can also help with their existing market, but I have no qualms. Like if they let me go tomorrow, they'll be okay.
Right. Okay, I see. Because I know there's some. I guess this goes with corporate, but I'm not gonna say his name. But I have a friend who's basically he, in a nutshell, he told me that he is responsible for like the database of this
Mm-hmm.
company, which will not be named, and basically the security. And he said he's been able to get away with so much shit because he's the only one who knows how to do it.
Yeah.
And he's the boss of his boss, which is kind of funny. Which
Yeah.
that's to me, I think that's the American dream.
Mm-hmm.
Not just to like fuck over your boss, but I think the American dream is be free.
To be in charge, yeah.
Right. So it's funny because I think the American dream, or at least what I was told, was, you know, get a house, a family, a car, whatever, and go to college. But that that has morphed dramatically in the past
Yeah.
20 years, as we can see. So, what's your opinion on that, man? What have you seen?
I have to say, I don't regret going to college by
Okay.
any means. It was a good experience, but I think that's what it was. I got a good experience out of it. I think people go to college thinking they're gonna, or you're told to go to college to get a job. And I think that's the wrong way to approach it. I think you should go to college to learn more about yourself, learn about different cultures, which I guess this works at UAB because it is a more diverse campus, but you're learning more life skills rather than trying to figure out what you want to do. Because trying to ask somebody that at 18 years old, I mean, to me, it's crazy. You've been through high school, you haven't really seen anything, you don't know nothing.
You don't know them. You had to ask people to go pee.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden, you're just supposed to know what you want to do for the next however long of your life.
You have a more optimistic view of college than I do, man.
And a more optimistic view.
Yeah, you do. But then again, you're probably because you're smarter than me. And
Well,
you've
what's
had you're smarter than me, so I'll
okay?
say that. So you've obviously,
Well, what's your view?
what's okay. My view on college, why I think this country, I think we're pushing it too much as the only option.
Yes, I
Which is
completely agree with that.
fucked up in my opinion.
Yes,
Because the I don't know the exact numbers, but I know like look at the college debt right now. The national college debt. I think it's accumulated roughly 1.8 million, maybe 1.5 not million, trillion.
yeah.
A million is nothing in this country, but a trillion?
Mhm.
Now we got a problem because you get nothing okay, you're pushing people into college, but here's the problem. Roughly, I think 4 out of 10 will not finish their degree.
Mhm.
So now they're just straddled with this debt that
Yep.
they have no idea how to fucking pay off, dude.
Yep.
And I don't know why in this country we still look down on like trades like welding, plumbing, because they're not going to get replaced by AI anytime soon. That is such. I mean, it's so technical on the motor side that it's not going to get replaced. I don't know why we look down on these careers and people don't consider the military. Well, I think maybe more people in the new generation, not ours. I think
Yeah.
they consider it more than our generation because our generation was kind of just shoehorned into the college thing. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm trying to say all that saying is my opinion of college.
College is a business.
It is. It is for sure. And I have a friend, Nick Tyler, he told me that he works in a public school and he said the thing he doesn't like about it is it's so corporate. And your main thing is to push people into college
Yeah.
as much as possible. It's not really about, showing them options. It's just push them towards here.
Yes.
But I guess I'm saying all this to say, I wouldn't say I have it exactly. I have a slight, I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm neutral negative towards college in a sense because obviously, your technical fields, like your STEM fields, yeah, you should probably go to talk to some people who know about that stuff.
Yeah.
The easiest example is I don't want you operating on me if you're just a YouTube researcher. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
But here's where I start clamping down. It's like when it comes to things like your music, your English, your history, where now you have the thing called the internet.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, like, how and why are these things still offered? Why do you think?
So you're saying why are fine arts still offered in college?
Correct.
Because I mean we have a history of it. I honestly I believe that, and I don't think they should be removed from colleges because fine arts is still a big thing to me, and I feel like if you want to go there, for instance, if it wasn't offered there, I could not have gotten my minor. I probably never would have met Dr. Cosman and been able to further my piano skills or my composition or none of that stuff. without it being there as an option for somebody else to take. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, I know I'm using it. It wasn't my core focus, so it's not quite the same as somebody that's going there to focus on it. But I don't know. To me, it just seems like, honestly, I can't formulate a good thought on why I think they should be there. But I don't know. To me, it just seems weird to think about college without the fine arts options. And then I feel like you're moving more into such a mechanical society, like technology driven, and that's scary to me. That's when I think robots actually will take over the world, is when you lose sight of the things that, I don't want to say makes us human because that sounds so corny, but you get what I'm putting at.
Here, I'm not against the arts or anything. What I'm against,
I get what you're saying that,
because like my career, obviously I work with this, but what I'm against is, I guess, unreasonable expectations in this kind of field, and just the turnover rate of how many people are actually successful. Because
that's a good point.
Because I feel like, from my experience, right, the people I've worked with or have been around, they're driven no matter what. Like, you're an engineer, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
You still pursued music. Like, I've talked to, like, a plumber. Like, I worked with the engineer. Like, he wasn't a mixing guy at first. He was a plumber for a bit, an electrician, but he pursued it on the side. So it just comes to my mind. It's like, what exactly, my opinion on college is you go there to make a return on investment, because the cost of college has doubled ridiculous amounts. And as we can tell, or from what I see, the quality hasn't really, met the price of.
No, it doesn't.
It has not justified why it's cost so much.
Fashion.
Right. So when I'm sitting here, I'm thinking now, it's like, okay, I appreciate things like, your history, your books, and, arts, music, whatever. But we live in a society these days where the internet is there, and practically it could displace all of that in terms of accessing that information. So,
to some extent,
yes. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to say is, I don't know how much longer these things like this have a place in college.
Yeah, I think I'm gathering what you're saying. So, from my perspective, it's like you going to college to pursue these fine arts degrees. You pay a buttload of money, but what's the likelihood that you are going to get a job where you can make enough money to pay off that debt that you went into going to college? Whereas you could have just graduated from high school, pursued it yourself, studied on it, looking at YouTube videos or whatever, gotten the same amount of skills, more or less, and not been in so much debt. Is that what you're getting at?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Or pursue an apprenticeship.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, people always forget about that.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, college is a business, and the concept of money to an 18-year-old, to the average 18-year-old, I should say, that concept of money is not there for them. They don't understand.
Well, they don't teach them. They don't teach nothing about money in school.
No, they don't, dude.
They just say, take a loan, you'll get through college. They're like, okay.
The sad thing is, like, they think right out of college you're gonna be making $80K. That's not the case.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but I've heard engineers, like, especially civil, they don't start off that much in this state.
No, I don't. Not in this state. Maybe somewhere else.
Yeah, I mean, redevelop Birmingham. Yeah, here's your $30.
Yeah,
Go
right.
Shoot somewhere. It's that kind of deal.
Exactly.
Watch, dude. Some engineer's gonna give me shit, dude.
Yeah, probably. But it's all right. But it's the truth.
It's the truth, brother. So, man, that was going to lead me to my next question. Not the civil engineers, but the whole college thing is, why is it still here? What exactly is keeping it here? What exactly is keeping it from being displaced by the thing called the internet?
So college, to me, and I've said this to multiple people, I've said it in front of groups of people, all college is a vote of confidence to somebody else. So you get a piece of paper that tells somebody, I might know something. I went through something that might guarantee that I know a little bit of something. That's all it is. It's more of like a safety net for people looking to hire. Because you can go to college and not know anything when you graduate. There are lots of people that do that. I mean, it's not indicative of what you actually know, but it's just saying that you actually took something where you had the chance to learn.
Which brings me to my next point is what's going to happen when the employers with that old school way of thinking, when those employers just die, and then you get the new school employers who are more merit driven. Like the employees that don't give a shit that you were in a sorority or fraternity. It was like, let's see what you worked on. Like I have a friend right now. He's interviewing for Goldman Sachs and Google, not because he went to school for it, but he did. But he did like all these side projects on the side.
Stuff. Yeah.
So that's my question: is how far are we out from that?
I don't think too far, to be honest.
We could throw out a number.
I'd say maybe 2 decades.
2 decades? Oh, you're generous, dude.
Yeah.
I think 10 years.
You think 10 years?
Because Amazon's already testing out trucks. I mean, I know it's Amazon. And I'm going to throw out the Elon Musk example. And it was like, oh, it's Elon Musk. But Elon Musk sent a goddamn Tesla to Mars.
Yeah.
So it's like, at this point, it's like anything could happen. I mean, Kanye West is running for president. I mean, shit.
I mean, that'll be for your big jobs, your big corporations. They'll probably start moving that direction. But I think it's going to be a little longer before your average, I don't want to say average like they're not good, but like you're not your Teslas and you're not Amazons before they start moving in that direction.
Right. And they're going to start.
It's a risk. Essentially you're putting yourself at risk as a company, and as a business, your job is to minimize your risk so that you can make more money or make the most amount of money for the least amount of risk.
Right. Hence why games have been looking the same for the past 3 years.
Exactly.
Why Madden and what is NBA 2K? Why those things are successful, even though it's like it's a pay to win model.
Thing. Yeah, that
it's
too.
Safe, but they know you're.
They know what people like. I mean, they know what their fan base likes.
Yeah, man, dude. It caught them, man. Let me look on this list. So do you think? So going off that, I don't know if we answered that question, but when do you think degrees are going to get displaced?
Degrees are going to get displaced.
Because here's an example, right? This happened a couple of years ago. Australia stopped giving out student loans to people who weren't majoring in STEM.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard about that.
I didn't hear about that,
but they basically said, okay, look, you can major in arts, music, history, English, nothing wrong with that. We're just not going to approve. We're not going to approve a loan for you for that. Because what was happening is they weren't getting a return on investment. As cold as that sounds, they weren't getting.
Like people weren't paying back their loans.
Exactly, or they were escaping their country. Because there's some stories of people fleeing the country because, I can't pay off $150K working at Publix for $9 an hour. Yeah. Shit, I'll just move somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, what's your opinion on that?
Well, that's a tough one.
Yeah. When do you think degrees such as that will start getting displaced?
All degrees are degrees that aren't STEM related.
I shouldn't say not STEM related because I've heard things like radiology. Apparently, they've come up with a machine that can see more shades of gray than the human eye. So supposedly people are running away from that profession because they know that profession's like that time's up.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm asking is much more broader than just the arts.
So when will college degrees become obsolete?
Basically.
That's a tough question. I hope soon, to be honest.
How soon do you hope, dude?
Like tomorrow. I know it sounds crazy for me since I went to college, got a degree, but I don't feel like my college degree tells anybody anything about me, about what I know, what I can do. I don't think it's a good measure of that.
No, it's not, because it's such an oversaturated product.
Yeah.
And then some people get tricked and like, oh, now you got to go get your master's.
There are so many different ways that you can, or different places, we'll say places that you can get a degree. How can you be sure that they're all equal and that you're getting the same product out from everywhere?
Look, not only universities, but have you heard of things called degree mills?
No, I haven't.
Okay, online, there are actually services where you can pay money and then you'll get a degree Okay,
Like a
but
fake degree.
here's the thing. I get it. You pay for a degree by going to university, but they mail it to you. You just
Yeah.
pay a flat rate. It's like boom, here you go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another thing, right?
That's interesting.
And it's a genius business idea. Kind of like selling followers and likes, dude.
How does it work, though? I mean, I imagine most companies probably don't even investigate. When somebody says they have a degree, they're probably just like, oh, okay, they got a degree.
I don't know how it works. Are you talking about how they mail out the degree?
Or how, like, when I get this fake degree and I go tell an employer, hey, I got a degree from this place. Like, how does the employer not look at it and be like, that's literally fake?
Well, here's the thing. Some companies fall for it.
Yeah, that's what they don't look into it.
They're banking on
They
it.
just see a degree.
Or from what I've heard is a degree mill will basically, I'm pretty sure this is illegal because this is borderline fraud. This is fraud. What am I saying? So if An Lee just went to this website, I could go like, hey, print me out. I got a BS in electrical engineering from UAB, and they'll do it.
Wow,
But they don't. What they don't do is say. What they'll do is basically say, "Hey, we're not responsible if you get called out for this shit.
Yeah,
we're not. We're not. What's the correct legal term for it? Okay, whatever. We're not responsible if an employer calls you out on this bullshit, basically. Yeah. So that's how it goes. So that's funny that you say how do you distinguish yourself from the regular bachelors? Because it's not only just okay, everyone has it, but some of these people might have a fake one.
The funny thing, I got my job because of my music. It had nothing to do with my degree.
I think it's because employers are looking for employees that are have more to them or more human. Med school's kind of doing the same thing where it's like you can't just be a 4.0 bot anymore.
Yeah.
I have no personality. Because I talked to Mario on this on one of my first episodes. He said that the medical field, especially I guess for I don't know the correct term, workers in the public hospitals, is you see so many patients, you begin to see them as numbers.
Yeah.
And what you lose there is a little bit of compassion or the human element of what it means to be a caretaker.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why med schools were starting to focus more on extracurriculars, your personality, which I think it's a good thing because you can get a ton of fucking soulless Asian people and get a 4.0, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, dude?
But honestly, this is a crazy idea, but I think...
It's okay. I've said crazy things on the show already. Say it loud and proud, dude.
I think people in the medical field should be on some kind of rotation to where like maybe 6 months out of the year they do their job, then other 6 months, maybe not that long, but they're necessarily doing something else because I think it is easily get burnt out in the medical field. If you're going to be working there for your life, I think it's inevitable that at some point you are going to start seeing people as numbers, no matter how much of a compassionate person you start off as. When you're doing essentially the same thing over and over again, and once you start, you've seen it all at some point. You're just like, oh, this is just that again.
So how would you pay them then? Would you still pay them on a yearly basis, or would you cut their salary in half, basically?
See, those are the tough questions.
Did you think that far?
I thought about it, but I don't have an answer. I mean, part of me feels like, I guess it depends on what they be doing during the other 6 months. Like, I'm not saying we should give them a paid vacation for 6 months out of the year,
right?
But maybe they're doing something else. And what that is, I don't know at the moment.
Yeah, I don't know either, dude. I'm not a doctor. I ain't smart enough to be a doctor. Exactly. Thank God I'm not that, dude. Man, but I'm glad I dropped out of biomedical engineering too, dude, because I wasn't planning on going to med school.
Yeah,
and that is the most biomedical engineering. It's how do I say it? It's useless on its own because it has no. I don't think it has any applications.
Really?
Not much. It's very specific applications.
That's true.
Where a mechanical engineer was going to be, I could do anything,
Yeah.
That kind of feel. Let me look up the next subject. That's interesting, though, man. Half year on, half year off, doctor.
I don't know if it's, like I said, I don't know if those times are correct, but I think some kind of rotation. where you get a good amount of time off to I don't know, to digest what you've been through. But they also have a problem of a shortage of doctors. So it's like, is that really feasible?
Especially, I can see how you start seeing those numbers because there's some doctors who do gruesome stuff, like, late term abortion doctors, your ER doctors, they begin to see some shit. And that changes them. They get depressed. Speaking of depression, dude, why do you think dentists are so depressed?
Dentists are depressed?
Yeah, somebody told me that dentists are one of the most some of the most depressed professions, or the suicide rate is really high for dentists, unusually high.
I need to call my dentist to make sure he's all right. I haven't talked to him in a while.
I'm trying to think why. I mean,
I don't know.
It's easy for me to say you make a lot of money, dude. Shut the fuck up. But I gotta look further than that.
Yeah,
I have to be intellectually open-minded and open-hearted to see why they're so depressed.
Dentists. I never would have guessed at that.
Apparently some people in the medical field feel that way too. They feel, I get it now. I think it's the feeling of being underappreciated. As weird as that sounds, like,
no,
in a job,
they're probably the most underappreciated profession in the medical field to some degree. Like if you go to medical school to get a MD.
I saw this meme saying, it's like, I saw this meme that kind of relates to it. It says, when you perform a successful 20-hour brain surgery and then the family thanks God.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I'm starting to see why they're a little bit depressed, because they don't feel appreciated in a sense.
But I'm sure teachers don't feel appreciated either, and they don't get paid as much as doctors. So I mean,
the teacher pay thing is such a slippery slope because it depends on district, it depends on a lot of things. I mean, yeah, there's a lot of teachers in Alabama I know they start at $39.99 no matter what district they're in.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, if you're in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, well, $40K ain't bad.
Yeah.
If there's like a Walmart like 48 miles down the road, then yeah, you can live off $40K. But
yeah, you can.
The big issue is when, I don't know, or people have bad spending habits.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel cynical in that sense, and that's why I get a lot of shit
about people having bad spending, or about teachers.
Okay. I guess both.
Well,
because there are some teachers, like there's some people I know or I've seen. I hate to go back to high school, but there's some people like from high school trying to be teachers. I'm like, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
Or they're trying to be nurses too. That's even scary, dude.
Yeah.
They're trying to be nurses, dude. That's crazy to think about. Think about if a crazy dude was a civil engineer, man.
Nurses are probably underappreciated too. I mean, everybody's probably underappreciated to some degree.
I think engineers, the funny thing about engineers is no one knows who you are until something goes wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Until something doesn't work.
That's true. Nobody cares who we are until something doesn't work.
Until something goes wrong, dude. That's a funny
and I'm okay with that, to be honest. See, it's the perfect thing for me because I'm low key. I like to be under the radar. So.
I'm okay with that too, dude, because I'm the same way. I just like to do my job and get out, dude. Like, it's none that special, but I guess in the medical field where you're actually working with people, and in a sense you're changing their lives emotionally. Engineers, best way I can put it is engineers do what society expects, even though it's something ridiculous to do, But I guess that's why medical professions kind of feel a little more depressed, because it's more, I guess, I'm not disregarding the science of the field, but it's a little more, emotional, if that makes sense. So they feel underappreciated. Kind of like that meme I said, you get done with 20-hour brain surgery and the family thanks God.
I mean, you're working. Yeah, I mean, you're working with the people. You get to see their reactions to stuff that you do, and you're helping them through things, and they're not always necessarily the most gratuitous towards you.
Nah, dude. Oh, here's a funny thing, dude. Do you think people... I don't know if you ever worked a retail or food service job, but I was talking to a friend today, and he said he thinks it should be law that people should be required to work food service and retail for a year. What's your opinion on that, dude? And get the mic closer to you, my bad.
No, you good. My opinion on that, I understand why he says that. He's saying because people come in there acting a fool, when they haven't actually worked it. They don't understand what goes into all of it.
Right, keep going.
So I didn't work retail or food, but I still have that understanding. Like, I'm not going to go and I assume that's where he was going with that.
Yeah, because like it's like I worked in food service for a bit, and people were dickheads, dude.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I have so many funny stories from food service.
Yeah.
I always talked about this, but one time, like, I was in the drive-thru of a Full Moon, right? This lady orders a grilled chicken salad, whatever. I'm like, cool. Large Diet Coke. I'm like, okay, you're lying to yourself, but here you go. And then she orders a cup of ranch. I'm not talking about a little cup of ranch.
Mm-hmm.
She orders like a 32-ounce cup of ranch. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me, dude?
Interesting.
So what I had to do was I had to go to the back, pull out the bucket where we make the ranch. I slammed it on the table, got like the big ladle, and just scooped that shit in the cup. It was like the most disgusting thing ever, dude. It made a noise.
Yeah.
We charged her like $6 for it, dude. But she wasn't rude, dude. I was just giving her shit because like that's 32 ounces of ranch, dude.
Yeah, she didn't want to go to Walmart, man.
I don't know what she wanted. I don't know what she was trying to do with that salad, dude.
Who knows, man?
I don't know if you even call it a salad.
I wouldn't even want to ask. Don't know what people be into.
I don't know, man, but I kind of see his point that people should be required to work retail food service because, like, you know, some people don't understand or they don't have that perspective.
Yeah, but I understand that I haven't worked food and retail service.
Right,
so
but
why
you have
is it that I understand? Is it, you know what I mean? Like,
okay. Let me preface this by this. For the average idiot, so not you, the average idiot,
yeah,
who wasn't raised in a good family, might not see that.
I would disagree with you there because I see a lot of people that come from good families that are very smart that treat people that work in service like complete crap.
Well, they're idiots too in my eyes. Maybe I should redefine idiot.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm just saying shit to say shit. I'm sorry.
No, I get. Yeah, I mean, in fact, I think they're the ones that often treat people like that. It's because they somehow see themselves as better.
That's interesting.
I think that's where the issue comes in when you start looking down on people.
But it's such a natural human instinct
to look down on people.
Well, to think, in a way, people were very self-centered, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're very, self-motivated. So it's really easy to go into the mindset of, if I could do it, why can't you? That kind of deal.
Yeah.
So they might not be thinking in their heads like, oh, I'm better than you, but they're thinking indirectly in a way. But I think what my friend was trying to get to was, I think if you require that from, let's say, between 16 and 20 something, it teaches you a value of money.
Yeah.
It starts a kid off right in a way. I don't care what family you came from. You came from Bill Gates' family. Here, go work in this fucking restaurant for like minimum wage. And I don't know. But then again, forcing everyone to serve in the military for a year would do that too. But I don't think people are down for that. Some countries do it.
Yeah, they get the draft. Or they could reinstate the draft here.
They could, but what war?
Yeah, right. Well, I don't know, the one we've been in for like 8,000 years now. That war.
What's that war, dude?
Yeah, exactly.
The war for oil, man.
Yep.
Okay. Here, what did I write down? I wrote down something stupid here. Do you think success leads to happiness? Or do you think happiness leads to success?
I think it depends on how you define success. I think success definitely leads to happiness, but success can be a lot of things.
Okay, what's your definition of it then?
My definition of success would be having the means to do what I want to do.
Freedom.
Yeah, you can call it freedom. I mean, technically, I'm free now. I can go do whatever I want to do, but I might have adverse consequences.
Yeah, technically.
But people say that money is not a part of happiness, but I think to an extent, it definitely is. Or having it makes it easier.
I think that way too.
Having too much, that can be a problem.
I don't know, can it?
Uh, it depends. It depends on how you start viewing your money. If you start viewing your money as a way that I can literally do anything I want to do, you start to think of yourself as above certain things because of the
Oh,
amount of money you have. I think that's where people get into some tricky
yeah.
situations, and it could actually, I think, adversely affect you and your personal health. Because I don't know, this might just be me, but this is going slightly on a tangent.
Okay,
But
go ahead.
I don't like to view people. I don't. I don't like to place labels on people. Like I don't like to say this person is stupid, this person is smart. I personally, I like to classify things people do as smart and as stupid. But the reason for that is I think the moment I start labeling someone as stupid, that means that anything they do or say, I'm going to automatically assume that it's stupid, and I can miss out on something really great that they got to offer.
What if they're? But is that a bad thing, though? To judge people on the actions they do,
No,
but you're only judging the action, kind of like hate the sin, not the sinner, that kind of deal.
yeah,
Hmm.
sort of that kind of deal.
I wish I was that
I
open-minded.
mean, if you murder somebody
Well,
out
yeah,
of cold blood, I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
you might be a cool dude, but like, I'm not about to, we're not gonna hang out and be
Yeah, we're not
buds.
we're not
You
gonna be
know what I
homies.
mean?
Yeah, I'll just watch the Super Bowl at home, dude.
Yeah, for real. I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
I guess it's more of like just a way to keep myself from going down that road of beginning to feel like I'm better than somebody else, or that I'm more capable than somebody else.
I guess when I do it, I don't. I might do it by accident. I don't think of it as me being better than someone. I just think of it as like, why would you do that?
No, yeah, I'm
That
not
kind of
saying you
deal.
do, but I think there gets a point to where if you get used to doing it, it can start to leading to some I don't know, sketchier thoughts. I
Hmm.
call them sketchy thoughts, but maybe
I got you. Well, everyone in New York was like that, dude. They just
yeah,
had road rage, but nobody had a car. So they were just
yeah,
mad at each other
yeah.
on the road, dude. Hmm. Oh man, I forgot to ask you, dude. What got you? How did you discover New Jobbies? Because that's how we connected as friends. That's how me and
Yeah.
Madison became friends. Was like the fact we both listened to New Jobbies. How'd you hear about him?
Um, who told me? Peter. You remember Peter from high school?
Oh, Peter Airbob?
Yeah. He showed me New Jobbies, and I'm glad you mentioned that because New Jobbies was that was a life changing moment for me. Like his music, as far as the kind of music that I listened to and the kind of music that I liked. After him, there's a clear shift in the stuff that I started to appreciate after I started listening to him.
I think you could also say the same where a lot of people, or a lot of artists, or at least underground ones, even a few mainstream ones, they kind of drew inspiration from him.
Mm-hmm.
In that sense, from him and Dilla, because him and Dilla were the two big ones that people look towards.
Yeah.
I mean, look at the Roots and Questlove. I mean, look at basically any boom bap producer, even trap producers.
Mm-hmm.
They still look at Dilla, and still think like, yeah, he was the one. He was basically a pioneer. He was like the Beethoven of the classic world.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So I discovered New Jobbies through watching Adult Swim. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, they used to have these bumps like during the commercial breaks.
Yeah.
They play all these cool things. That's also how I discovered Jay Dilla. I think it was like Saturday nights were like anime nights or something, and they would always play these cool, beats. And that's how I discovered. That's how I discovered people like Shingo 2,
Yeah.
New Jobbies, Jay Dilla. Who else? Force of Nature. Even though I don't know if he makes stuff anymore.
Yeah.
Based out of Japan.
I forgot about Adult Swim. I never watched it that much, but there's always some cool stuff on there.
Yeah, you were probably. Yeah, but I would always get in trouble for staying up that late, dude. Did your parents enforce a bedtime, dude?
They did.
My dad, I just
I'm
didn't
trying
listen.
to remember. I guess I was a good kid. No, I mean, me and my brother used to stay up, and then if we hear somebody come, because our room was upstairs, so if somebody was coming up the steps, we'd always cut the TV off and act like we were asleep. Yeah.
I couldn't do it, dude, because like out in that living room, dude, like that was the only TV we had.
Oh,
So
yeah.
if I turned on the TV, everyone was gonna hear
knew.
it, dude. So for me to like stay up and just sneak watching Adult Swim, dude, that was scary, man.
Yeah.
Some risky times, dude. I think I got my ass beat a couple times for doing it, dude.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, my mom got mad at me for watching Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Aqua Teen. I've heard of it, but I've never even seen
It's
it.
this dumb show where it's like the three main characters is like a container of fries, a meatball, and a milkshake.
Interesting.
I know it sounds so stupid, but so maybe some people know what I'm talking about. But I got in trouble for watching that just because I forgot what episode it was. It was like where the fat white guy was walking around naked. That's what I got in trouble for, dude.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's a good thing, dude. So I mean, what's your schedule like? Because you work your day gig as an engineer, and obviously your side hustle and your passion is music.
Yeah.
And how do you work that schedule? Because that's now becoming the new reality of these days. Is you got your main job and your side hustle. Some people it's like, oh, I got two jobs and a little bit of fraud on the side.
Yeah.
So how do you basically go about that?
I mean, I do my day job during the day. I do my side job at night. I mean, it's as simple as that. I get home from work and eat some dinner and find some stuff to mess with. Either that or play some games or something. I don't know. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day.
Go on. My bad. I was going to say something dumb. Go on.
I mean, I have the luxury of that. My side job at the moment isn't too taxing. So I never feel like I have to get home and I immediately have to start working at something or I can't have time to do other things.
Would you put yourself in a position if, your side hustle was a bit taxing? Let's say for some reason now you're composing for Marvel. But you obviously can't quit your day job for it because this is the only contracted work for Marvel.
Yeah. I mean, I do what I have to do. Like if it comes up, if I have to stay up till 3:00 in the morning working on stuff, so be it.
Yeah, dude, I've had plenty of those. Like, especially when I was starting off doing this stuff, dude. Oh, my sleep schedule was terrible, dude. When I worked live sound, that was probably not live. I shouldn't say live sound. When I worked as a stagehand a lot for this one local, I mean, it was terrible. It basically would be like I have school at 8 in the morning to like 5 because I didn't know how to make a schedule, and then I go to work basically from 10 in the evening to like 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I took a little nap and then just go back to school.
Yeah.
And that was like that for like 4 days a week. I'm glad it was only 4 days a week.
That's rough.
Because it was rough. That's probably another reason why I dropped out of biomedical engineering. Because I was just working so much that it didn't make sense for me how I could balance that work, classes that were extremely demanding, and so that's why I dropped that. That makes sense.
No, that's a lot, man.
That's a lot. I'm glad I did it though, because I kind of saw. I guess in that sense, I kind of saw what I can and what I can't do.
Yeah.
But I kind of learned the hard way from that, which I guess that's my only regret from doing that is I learned the hard way.
Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way though.
There's some people who got to do that. Oh, what do you think about going for that, man? I already know you're not into film stuff. Well, you're not trying to go into film music, but not.
I mean, if it comes up, sure, but
oh man. Oh, what do you think about music today?
About music today. I feel like that's a loaded question, huh?
It's a very loaded question, dude. This is the show of loaded questions where I just rant, dude.
Yeah. I will say that I do not have anything new that I listen to. That's how I'll put it.
What's the newest thing you listen to, man?
I couldn't even tell you. Let's see. Probably the newest thing is Lupe's new album. His Drogas Wave album.
Who?
Lupe Fiasco.
Lupe Fiasco. What was it? Waves Part 2?
Yeah, Drogas Wave.
Drogas Waves.
Yeah.
That was good. I liked it.
It was a good album. I mean, that's probably the most recent thing that I have listened to.
Lupe actually...
I take that back. Esperanza Spalding her new album, 12 Little Spells.
I forgot she came out with a new
I
one.
saw that. I went and saw her do the performance in Atlanta live, front row.
Ooh, that was fun, dude.
It was absolutely amazing. She is something else. And the people she always gets to perform with her always equally as, I won't say equally as talented because she's something else, but they're always extremely talented. She knows how to pick.
Isn't
good
it
people.
funny that the more talented the musician is, the weirder they are, dude, sometimes?
Yeah, she's, I don't know her, but she's herself. You can tell, like even on stage, she has a good personality. Or a good stage personality, because of course I don't actually know her.
Did you hear that story about Erykah Badu when she came to Iron City? This was a long time ago.
Mm-mm.
And apparently, so what happened was her set started, and the bass player was playing the same riff for like 5 minutes, waiting for her to get out.
Mm-hmm.
But she was so high on weed, no big surprise, whatever.
Yeah.
Weed, whatever. She goes out on stage and she gets mad at the bass player for no reason. She takes her shoe off and throws it at the bass player.
Oh, wow.
And then they play, dude. So that's what I'm saying. It was like, man.
No, Esperanza Spalding was nothing like that.
That's why I was saying it was like, who's the last, besides jazz musicians, there's not that many musicians like at such a high level that are normal, dude. I mean, maybe Chick Corea, but I mean, Chick Corea's been around forever and he's old, so it's like it's natural he'd be normal.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. What do you consider normal, though?
I don't know. Just like
what makes Esperanza Spalding not normal?
I might get shit for this, but she comes off a little bit hippie-ish, man. Which it's fine because she's an artist at the end of the day.
Yeah,
and she has to be herself. Maybe not normal to me. That's what I'm saying.
Like normal, like you could see them working a day job. Like you could see them when they get off of gig.
Or they're more low key. That's what I'm trying to see.
Okay.
Which is a highly underappreciated skill, in my opinion. The art of being low key.
Yeah, I agree with that.
My cousins and I, we always talk about this all the time. It's like, think about how cool it would be just to walk up in like khaki cargo shorts with two like busted up flip flops and a Star Wars T-shirt, and you're writing like a $200 million check.
Yeah,
think about it.
That'd be the day.
That's something, dude. Where you're so damn good, you don't have to dress up to go to work.
Yeah.
What am I saying? Yeah, I guess that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I guess they're not low key. That's what I'm saying. It's like when you see, like for example, when I worked with rappers, like they weren't low key.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most low key one was actually none of them were low key. I take that back really quick. None of them were low key.
When you say low key, you mean like they want attention, or?
I guess I should be careful saying that because my definition of normal, I have to understand that the definition of normal is very subjective between people because, maybe someone's normal. That normal, for example, like a prisoner's normal is being around a bunch of gang members who are there for like arson and murder.
Yeah.
But my normal is like just being around, college kids, I guess, and just working people.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would give me more off that music conversation. Because I'm actually...
As far as...
Like, your opinion on music today. And
my opinion on...
I know, it's such a loaded question, dude.
You really want me to go off on this music, don't you?
Yeah, man, I want you to go off.
You already know what I think. I already gave you my answer. It's written in between the lines on...
Dude, I can't be the only one who goes off on this show, dude.
I always feel... I don't like... to crap on music because
you're being too nice, Eric.
No, because I mean, at the end of the day, that is somebody else's art that they have made, and I can appreciate good quality of anything, even if it's not my type of music. Like there is some music out there that I'm like for instance, trap music. I don't like trap music. But there are some artists out there, maybe not artists, because I couldn't tell you any because I don't actually listen to the songs and associate them with people.
Right.
But there's some songs that I hear that I'm like, I don't like that, but whoever did it well. If that makes sense.
I try to separate it out. I have an objective taste and a personal taste.
Yeah.
When I go by objective taste, I go by like, okay, Sonic's, how was his delivery?
Yeah, exactly.
How was, all these objective things. And then personal, that's for me. I
Yeah.
think Questlove say something along the lines of, someone asked him, like, well, how do you DJ in these days when, you came up in a completely different era of hip hop? And he said, I have two different tastes. I got personal taste and a professional taste.
Yeah.
Where, he doesn't mind spinning, trap stuff, but...
Because that's what people like. That's what people listen to.
As his job as a DJ. I don't even know if he DJs that much anymore.
Yeah.
I think he's just doing the Saturday show. I don't know. He actually did a session when I was up in New York. Yeah,
that's nice.
He was doing a podcast episode. I walked by him and that's it. I didn't want to bother him.
Yeah.
Because, that's the last thing you want to do. Is you just go fan up to an artist like that and just piss him off, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he seemed really angry that day. That might have been also another reason why I avoided him.
Yeah, it's probably for the best. That reminds me of when at the Esperanza Spalding concert, she came out and she was signing stuff. Oh. And I got the chance to go up and talk to her.
How'd that conversation go, dude?
If you want to talk about starstruck, man, it was bad. I guess it's almost like when I saw Michael League from Snarky Puppy. But essentially when I got up to her, what did I say? I said...
You probably said some really awkward things like when you're trying to get your first girlfriend or whatever. It's probably really awkward like that, dude.
Well, I said... I was trying to come up with something clever to say, but I got nothing. And that's literally what I said to her. Damn, she kind of just looked at me. Of course, I'm probably reading into stuff. She's probably used to people coming up to her acting a fool. But I just walked off
She's probably look at this idiot.
Yeah. That's about what I did when Michael League came too, and he was out signing stuff. And I just went up there and I was like, man, I really appreciate your music. And he was like, okay.
He said okay.
I don't think he said okay.
He didn't even say thank you.
He was nice. Yeah, he said he was nice, but I drew him. I think I lingered. He was just kind of looking like, "What do you want?" I kind of just sauntered off. It was bad, man.
Man, my policy on that, maybe I'm more used to it because I worked around it. It's just walk past, just say hello, get the fuck out of there because they're not there for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of deal. As cold as that sounds, maybe
they're not.
Maybe some of them do interacting with fans, but I mean that's just the approach I take because I've worked with some divas as well, dude. Just some absolute assholes.
Yeah, I just never know what to say. What can I say that's gonna make a difference to this person? Seriously, what can me nobody say to them?
I gotta offer you can't refuse.
Yeah, right.
Can you be a feature on my mixtape for $50?
Yeah, right. I got some music you might want to check out. No.
Oh man, that was hilarious, dude. I worked with a beat making friend, dude. He said he was at a Joey Badass concert when he came to Birmingham. He said he was gonna just slip his tape up there because he was a boom bap beat maker from Baltimore. So he was gonna do it subtle. And so he was just gonna put his tape up there. I say tape, but it was a CD or USB, whatever. Yeah. Beat makers like to call it tapes. And apparently, right after he put it up there, other beat makers just started throwing their thumb drives and CDs up there.
Really? Oh man!
Just think about it. Think of the most obnoxious thing. Whenever people just walk up or they come in unsolicited, I think about when someone just comes up with a plate of spaghetti and just shoves it on you, dude.
Yeah,
it's the exact same thing. It's disrespectful. Yeah. Nobody wanted it.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it's the most amazing thing in the world, there's a time and a place and a way to do that.
That happened at the Roots and the Common concert. Were you
really?
there?
I was there.
Yeah, somebody was throwing their mixtape on stage at Common, dude.
Oh man, I don't think I saw that happen.
No, dude, I saw it, dude. I just saw this disc. It looked like a frisbee, dude. And it was just flying up there, dude. I was
what did they think he was gonna do? I don't understand.
They think he's gonna pick it up, dude. No, he's walking away.
Yeah,
he doesn't know what's.
That's going to the trash the next day when the stage cleaning crew comes.
Sad part is that's true.
Yeah.
And the sad part is there is no cleaning crew next day. They unload that day.
Yeah, for
They
real.
unload that night, dude. Thank God I wasn't working that show, dude.
Yep.
Ooh, do you think the music of today reflects the outlook of society of today? Because I think so.
Yeah.
Because this society is pretty anxious. Everyone's depressed,
Mm-hmm.
and suicide has gone up
Yeah.
ridiculous amounts. So I think the music kind of reflects that today. It just sounds angry to me.
Yeah.
I know that's not an intellectual way to put it, but
No,
I mean that's why.
that's good. I understand what you mean. For me, I just lost my train of thought. Hold on a second.
It happens all the time. Dude.
Yeah. But like the music, God, what was I about to say? It probably wasn't very good.
Oh, it's okay. I haven't said a lot of good things either, dude.
I never do. But I seriously can't remember what I was about to say. Start saying stuff again. Maybe it'll jog my memory.
Man,
Hit me.
you ever heard of the XXX Tentacion? Well, he
Yeah.
passed away, but
Yeah.
many people gravitated towards his music because it felt like, sonically in a sense, he was basically in my opinion, he was definition of punk hip hop,
Yeah.
and it's aggressive, it's gritty. I guess the best way I could say it is it's emo. So people
Mhm.
kind of related to that a little bit.
Yeah.
They felt like it was kind of a way it was their outlet. Kind of like think about how, NWA Public Enemy was,
Mm-hmm.
for people living in those exact or similar conditions that they were describing, they felt
Mhm.
like that was their outlet as well. They felt like,
Yeah.
hey, I've got someone to speak for me. So, yeah. That's all I had to say about that.
No, I never actually listened to his music. I just heard about his demise.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, dude.
That sounded dark, but yeah, it is unfortunate.
Yeah, dude. Apparently, it was the shooter turned himself in the next day.
Really?
Well, not the next day, but like within the week,
Yeah.
supposedly. I don't know. I don't remember the story that well,
Yeah,
but that's what I heard, dude.
yeah. But what I was gonna say, I actually remembered it, and it's a tangent, but the music today, I feel like reflects almost kind of what we were talking about earlier, the shift of society towards a more technology driven society, because I think if you listen to the music, it's almost becoming like a science, like something to be engineered. Like you engineer music. You don't make music. It's not like an art anymore. Not as I mean, I don't think it's going that far that it's not an art, but it's like I don't know how to describe it, man. It's just
Are you
just
talking about from the business perspective as well?
yeah. I mean, like as a whole.
Well, I think it's because as a society we're consuming content at a much quicker rate.
Yeah, like if you listen to stuff and it all sounds the same to me. Like sometimes I'll say it as a joke just to rip at my little brothers, but like it really does all sound the same to me. Like I listen to one artist and I'm like, well, that's like 30 other people that I've heard today, and it's all different people, but the music the same. You all have I don't know.
I think
It's just weird. You seems like there's no. I don't want to say there's no skill going into it because I'm sure talented people are putting this together, but the output doesn't sound very.
I think it's because we as a society we're consuming we're consuming information at an extremely fast rate. So in terms of music, when an album was released, people would listen to it for 6 months, maybe even a year, maybe 2 years.
That's how I do.
Yeah. And nowadays, like, oh, J. Cole released a new album. People listen to it for 2 weeks. Okay, it's done.
What's next? Yeah.
What's next?
J. Cole, you ain't dropped nothing else? Like, yeah.
That's why I don't know. If you notice, a lot of artists are moving towards a single driven market.
Yeah.
Because I mean it makes sense. Why work your heart out on a project Or if you're a new artist, why like release a 12-track album
Mm-hmm.
out of nowhere when you could just keep pumping out singles and see what works?
Yeah.
And that might have to do also depending on what label they're under or what kind of deal they're under.
Yeah.
But from a business standpoint, it's a more single-driven market instead of releasing albums because nobody has the time or the patience anymore.
Yeah, you're releasing stuff so you can get some money.
Yeah, man. I think that's why people are more anxious and depressed too. It's because everything has gone so fast.
Mm-hmm. Instant gratification.
Yes, exactly. They're not giving themselves enough time, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It does.
But it still does piss me off. Like when I text people
Mm-hmm.
and they don't respond, because me, I have a problem where I can't. When I talk with people,
Mm-hmm.
it's to me it's the same thing as like texting.
Yeah.
Because it's like you're trying to have a conversation. I try to treat it like that when it shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Or when people don't treat it like that. So when I send a text message to like a friend or whatever, and they don't respond, and I know they're not doing anything, it's like, okay, it's to me, I see it as like I just walked up to you and asked you a question, and you turned around and just walked the other way. I know it's not like that, but sometimes I view it like that. So I think what I'm trying to link it back to is, it's because everything's moving so fast, like including conversations and gratification, and we're seeing too many things. Shit, I didn't know what I was gonna say. Maybe people keep comparing themselves too much.
Yeah.
In that sense, they keep comparing themselves to these unreasonable or almost unobtainable, as cold as that sounds.
Yeah.
Things that they can't get. So
I can definitely see that.
So that's why you're smart for not being on social media.
Yes, and that's one of the main reasons I don't think I'd get it. I know myself well enough. I know that kind of stuff would bother me. Like if I get it, if I post something and I get like one like, and it's from my mom, it's gonna be an issue. My mom doesn't have social media, but you get the point. Like, I don't ever want to start trying to validate what I do and what I think by how many likes I get.
By an arbitrary number.
Yeah.
Basically.
Exactly.
So going back to what I was saying about the how fast we're all moving, like I think you heard of the Covington case, right? And I think the Covington case was such a good example of how fast everything is, where people don't slow down. Do you know what the Covington? Did you hear about that story?
Start talking about it. Maybe I have.
Okay, so the Covington story. So when this gets released, so when it did get released, it was reported as a school of white Catholic kids in MAGA hats are sitting there laughing and grinning at, I forgot the gentleman's name, Native American guy.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And the way the story was initially sent out was this kid is just laughing at their face, or just smiling at his face.
Yeah.
When the reality was that there was a group of black extreme Muslims in the back, screaming stuff like
crazy stuff to them.
Crazy stuff like, "Hey, you all suck dick, deaf to faggots," or something like that, And then the Native American guy kind of walked up, and the kid there was kind of put in an awkward situation. That was a story after the fact that everyone got mad at it.
Yeah.
So that to me, that's a very interesting. That's a good example of I guess a society that moves too fast. Outrage culture, basically.
It is outrage culture. I mean, in that particular situation, what I think honestly happened was that these 4 black kids were, I think it was 4 of them, I don't remember to be honest, but they were there throwing these insults at them, and they weren't sure enough to say stuff back to them. So maybe they huddled around this other target that they actually felt comfortable enough to maybe try to intimidate, because they were intimidated by these guys, and they didn't want to do anything back to them. That's from what I saw of the situation. That's honestly what it looked like to me.
Who was intimidated by who? Are you talking about the
MAGA kids were intimidated by the blacks kids.
Uh-huh.
So they didn't want to actually confront them. So then they saw another opportunity over here with this Native American man.
Oh, so you think these mega kids were confronting?
Confronting is I don't want to say
Okay.
confronting because that makes it honestly. From what I saw the video, yeah, confronting is not the word I would use, but
Okay,
they were definitely there.
initiate.
Yeah, they were there. They weren't just minding their business. I'll put it that way. Not from what I was seeing. Maybe they were, but from what I saw, which of course I wasn't there, so
It's like playing a game of telephone. You don't really know what's what anymore.
Yeah, which is why I wouldn't get upset about it because I'm like, I wasn't there. I don't really know what happened.
Well,
so
I heard that these kids were actually minding their own business, and they actually got walked up on.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, he came over there to them because he was trying to, I don't know, I guess diffuse the situation or whatever.
I don't know, dude, but it's crazy, this outrage culture, because I think one celebrity, like Kathy Griffith or whatever, she was trying to dox these kids, dude.
Yeah.
These kids, man.
It's like ridiculous.
15 years old.
The stuff people get angry about. There was a comedian, I can't think of his name now, but he was at a college campus doing a comedy show. I don't know if you heard about this. And it was a show for, I guess, diversity and like not just like racial diversity, gender diversity, all that kind of stuff. If I remember correctly, I'm probably misspeaking, but he was telling jokes, and he told a joke, which I think is pretty funny.
What's the joke?
But obviously it wasn't. He said like, "What black man?" Or I know being gay isn't a choice because what black man would wake up one morning and say, you know, this black stuff isn't hard enough, so I think I'm gonna be gay. It's funny, right? I think it's funny. Like it shines a truth on a subject, but it's also funny at the same time. But he got kicked off the stage for that because they were like, "Well, that's not really appropriate, and you're offending people and all this kind of stuff." And I'm like, "What?
That's
what?
That's the scary part when we're moving too fast. I said this 5 fucking times in 10 minutes, but when outrage culture moves into an art form such as comedy, where comedy is the premise of comedy is suffering, pain, and truth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And turn it out in a funny way. That's not an environment where it should be. It's not an environment where you should have someone telling you what you can and cannot say, or telling you what you can and can't do. Because,
but even then, like what he said wasn't offensive to anybody. To me, I don't know.
I think people look. I have a theory. I think life has gotten so good that people are just finding shit to get mad at.
Maybe so.
It's true, because think about it. I mean, think about the history of the human, right?
Mm-hmm.
What were we doing? Let's say 2,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Hunting for shit, making sure we didn't die from the cold, killing other tribes. I don't know. Yeah. So, the premise of the mechanics of the human is kind of based on survival. Yeah. So what happens when you get put into an environment where you don't have to fight for survival? Mm-hmm. Something weird begins to happen to your mind where you begin to look for conflict and you begin to look for problems.
That's an interesting thought. I never thought about that.
I mean,
it makes sense in a way, yeah.
I'm going on a tangent, but think about why a utopia is so disturbing. Like a so-called perfect society.
Yeah.
Think about why that's so disturbing. Or think about, why people love just earning their own way. Mm-hmm. I think it's true when it comes to welfare, or what people are debating now is like a universal income. I shouldn't say universal income, but like kind of a helping thing. I don't think there's people who kind of push it the wrong way. They think it's like, oh, lazy people just aren't going to do anything. Yeah, some of them might, but I don't think the people who are trying to better themselves are going to feel good about it. Yeah. There's a big satisfaction into earning your own way. Yeah. This goes back to me saying people just get mad over stupid shit because they want to get mad.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah. Definitely looking for stuff. But what you were saying also kind of reminds me of like stereotypes. Stereotypes are a thing that long ago were necessary for survival. Because think about it, you had your group of people that you lived with. You needed a way to quickly distinguish if this group of people over here were they hostile or they're friends. So you came up with these stereotypes in order to quickly discern that, so that you could know, hey, these people here to steal my stuff or kill people or whatever. And I think that plays a lot into maybe how we're made up to nowadays. We still form these stereotypes, these quick judgments that you can make about somebody.
So going off that, do you believe racism is still a problem in America?
Yes.
I think so too.
I think I say that. I'm nervous to say that because I think racism is too loosely used by people.
Okay, elaborate on that a little bit.
I think the stereotypes in racism are two completely different things, and I think the two get used interchangeably. Like if somebody thinks that I'm good at basketball because I'm black, I do not think they're racist. I think they're stupid because I'm not good at basketball. But you get what I'm saying? Like that's not racism to me is about hatred. Do you not like me because I'm black?
I see what you're saying.
That's racism. Not do you have certain ideas about what I might like to do. That's not racism.
Okay.
It's prejudice.
But that's not racism because like you said, racism is hatred towards someone.
Yes.
Not a stereotype.
Or if you want to go back to the original definition, it's thinking that one race is superior than another race.
You know what the crazy thing is? Some people think like white supremacists are running wild, but supposedly, I heard from a report from an independent study, there's roughly only 12,000 or 13,000 like classified white supremacists running around.
Mm-hmm.
And this goes back to that sort of white outrage culture a little bit, where people are kind of blowing up these things thinking that, oh my God, look at these Trump rallies, dude. Look at all these white supremacists, dude. Mm-hmm. When in reality, I know you didn't want to get into politics for this, but I think if we want to move somewhere, like as a country, we need to forget about like the extremes on both sides. We need to just forget about those idiots. Like just have normal people join in the conversation and work towards a solution. Because
that's where your media plays in, though. That's who they need to start showing.
I know there's a presidential candidate named Andrew Yang, and he's really smart. I like him, even though I guess air quotes, I guess I classify on the right when really I'm just center because I'm like the most left leaning right guy you'll ever meet. I guess. But I mean, he's demographic and democratic. So at first, when he was trying to push, universal basic income, I was like, oh no, not one of these. But the way he put it out was basically this. He said that everybody's gonna get $1,000 a month, and the money's basically he's trying to basically tax Amazon, get a little bit of cut from them. Mm-hmm. But the way he was saying, he was like, the reason this would work is because that $1,000 that sort of goes to everyone's pocket. Like, say if someone's struggling, they lose a job. Mm-hmm. It sort of takes off the edge from that loss a little bit because many Americans, they don't have savings or they don't have a savings account or enough money saved up if they lose their job. Mm-hmm. So his thing is he's trying to focus on, making a society a happier society. He's more focused on, the mental issue, the opioid epidemic and like suicide. That's his main thing. That's the reason why he thinks, if I were to pump 16 million into a community a year, basically, and just have money circulate around, he was basically saying it would allow, like, for example, parents of kids, it would help alleviate that a little bit and give that kid more opportunities to do more things down the road. Mm-hmm. Now, I think when some people think universal income, they think like, oh, minimum wage. No, that's completely different. I don't agree with minimum wage like bumping up to 15 an hour. I'm gonna say that right here, so the two listeners don't get mad at me. So,
but why not?
Huh?
Why not? If you don't mind.
Why don't I agree with it? Because the problem is, This is my very basic, I guess, quote
I'm not
unquote.
saying I agree or disagree with you. I'm just
Right.
curious as to
Right. This is my
what you.
basic bitch way of looking at it. Is the moment you start me as if I were like a franchise owner at McDonald's and your minimum wage went to 15 an hour, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get self-register.
Yeah.
Back to AI. Back to automation.
Yeah.
Oh, burger flipper, you want to make 15 an hour? I'll just buy like a conveyor belt in the microwave, whatever. Boom. So raising the minimum wage, I don't think that's gonna solve it because what is that gonna do for companies? It's gonna be like, okay, it cost me roughly 300 a week to hire you, or I could spend $600 once on this machine and it'll do my work for me forever.
Yeah.
That's why I don't agree with increasing a universal minimum wage because like I said for the fourth time, you gotta keep in mind what I say. It's gonna push people to basically push out the working class even more. I mean, think about what happened in the Midwest. I mean, like 4 million manufacturing jobs got blown out of the water or something.
Yeah.
And you go into those factories, you just see robot arms everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
You heard that that I think that we were in such a we demand more surgeons than what we have is my ignorant way of putting it.
Yeah.
Is they were experimenting with robots and a pneumatic arm supposedly did like surgery on a grape, which it's been a meme on the internet.
Yeah.
But I mean, think about it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's why I don't agree with increasing the minimum wage because that's not going to solve any problems. Kind of like when Bernie Sanders says, "Oh, free college for all," I was like, that's not going to solve the real problem we have because the preconceived notion that college is the end all be all that's very dangerous.
Yeah,
because as we can see today, I mean, roughly half. I'm just gonna throw a number out. Maybe like 45-50% unemployment rate from recent college graduates. I mean, some of them don't even work. Some of them don't work in fields that they even went to school for.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. That's my opinion on why I don't agree with increasing the minimum wage. But I do agree with. But I agree with like, hey, let's do a little stipend thing. Let's see what happens.
I think increasing the minimum wage, all you're gonna do is just drive prices up.
Exactly.
People are just gonna raise their prices on stuff, and then it's a wash at that point.
Yeah, and then you're just not gonna have a job there.
You have a job, but I mean, it's gonna essentially be the same. When you buy stuff, it's essentially going to be the same cost as if you didn't have that raise, because everybody's going to raise their prices because they have to pay everybody now at this higher threshold, so they charge their customers more.
I wish people knew that.
Well,
but they don't.
They'll learn it the hard way.
Man.
But another thing when you're talking about going to college is the end all be all. That really bugs me because my little brothers, especially, I don't want to get into talking about the high school, but I'm not impressed by what I've seen. I'll just put it that way.
It's probably because they're pretty corporate. When I say corporate, their main mission is shovel them in the
They want to look good on paper. They're, for what I have gleaned, I don't go there, so I don't know. It doesn't seem like they're really doing much to make it better. They're just saying they're getting a new building, look better.
Okay.
They're offering these academies, but what are these students actually getting out of these academies? What is actually the output of being in one of these academies? And what academies are you offering? All the academies are geared towards, like you said, college. What about the tradesmen? What about electricians? What about mechanical drafting? What about all that kind of stuff? Stuff that's not necessarily,
or even machining, dude.
Yeah, exactly. There's so much stuff you can do that is more of a vocation rather than going to college and learning a skill that you're probably not going to use. When if you learn something from a vocation or from a trade school, you are going to use that skill. Like, that is what you are going to do. And honestly, my little brothers, I think a trade school would be good for them. They're smart, they do well in school, but they have that kind of mind that it's just like they like to do stuff. They like getting their hands on things, and I think that's what they want to do, but they're not told that at school, so they don't even know that's an option. They don't even think that's an option for them.
How would you fix the school system? I know that's a loaded question because
How would I fix the school system?
How would you do it? Like if you were, it could be anything extreme. Basically, from a Thanos snap finger, half the world, half everything's dead. I'm speaking in what's that term? I'm not speaking literally. I'm speaking figuratively.
Yeah, I know what you
that
mean.
kind of deal.
Yeah, to fix the school system, I think schools should teach people what they need to know to be good, productive members of society.
And what would
They
that?
need to teach people about taxes, about credit, about finances, about how the economy works, that kind of stuff. They need to introduce them to life skills that you need, like cooking, knowing how to cook for yourself and knowing how to do nutrition. They need to learn about taking care of yourself, like what PE is supposed to be, but it's not. Um, all the kind of stuff just to be a healthy human. I mean,
But here's the problem with that. I'm playing the bad guy here. So, how would credit card companies make more money on late payments?
yeah, exactly.
How are you going to get the loans if everyone's scared to do it? How are you going to sell all these fake diets if there's no unhealthy people?
Well, I don't care. Get rid of it all.
Maybe I'm speaking.
People are making money off of other people's misfortune, which is BS. If we get rid of those people, I really don't care.
I don't either, dude.
To be honest.
But I'm thinking from like the bad guy's perspective, dude.
I understand. I mean, I know I'm making it super simple in black and white. There's a lot that goes into it, but I think how can you graduate from high school and not know anything about nothing?
Yeah.
Sure, I know where Taiwan is on the map. Cool. What's this credit card thing I got? What's this about getting good credit? Hey, what about these taxes? I gotta do what? I'm supposed to go see somebody every year? What is this?
You mean I'm supposed to report my cash income?
Yeah.
Or the IRS?
Why would I do that? Like, it's crazy to me that that's not something that's taught in schools.
Man.
And the way that this taught is just straight memorization. That does anybody no good.
But it's not teaching you how to work your mind, the mechanics.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
Okay, here's how I would fix college, right? If I was a really evil politician.
Are you talking about college?
Our education.
I was talking about school. Like,
okay.
I was talking about secondary school, like grade school. I mean,
so I'm gonna shit on college some more really quick. Here's how I would fix it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Most colleges, because student loans are federal aid, so technically colleges, they work off federal loans.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I would do, since if I was the government official, I'd say, hey, you should cut down on your administration. Because the administration, like, you get vice chair, the vice chair, like, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't know all these positions. All I know is, like, the administration, the student ratio is absolutely ridiculous. And it makes no difference. It almost makes zero difference to what the students experience or, you know, how their education, or it doesn't even help faculty for that sense.
Yeah.
So me being the asshole, I would go up there and say, hey, you need to cut down on your administration. And the schools would, oh, we can't do that. And I'd say, oh, I think you guys can figure it out. That's it. If they don't get money. That's it, dude.
To play devil's advocate, aren't you then pushing the people that you're talking about out of jobs before? What makes it different?
Okay, so what doesn't make it? It doesn't make it any different. I'm just trying to make it into a meritocracy, I guess.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to be a healthy dude, you got to eat vegetables. You got to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You got to eat the nasty stuff.
Yeah.
If you're not willing to do that, you're not going to be healthy. If you're not willing, look, if you're fat and you're not willing to go run, exercise, or lift weights, then you're going to be that way.
Yeah.
That's the way I look at it. You know?
No, I agree.
I think as a society, we have a big problem with embracing, I guess, failure and adversity.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Everybody's a winner culture.
Yes. Asians have a big problem with this too.
Mm-hmm.
Because not my family, but I've seen associated people. I'm gonna say that they like using their kids as like bragging tokens. It was like, oh, I sent my kid to Harvard. Oh, my kid's a doctor.
Yeah.
I'm like, what does that matter, dude? That's just let your kid live his own life, man.
I don't care about your kid. That's the first thing.
That's what I'd say too.
That's what I always want to tell people when they start going off, and I'm just like,
yo, I pissed off. I think I pissed off one of my mom's friends one time, dude. I was like, my daughter's a doctor. I'm like, okay,
yeah,
cool. I guess, dude. I was like, I don't give a shit, dude. Like,
no, that's another
like,
reason why I don't have social media.
That's your kid. That's not your bragging token, dude. Like, stop. Right. Maybe less Asians would be the socially awkward fucks if you guys stop doing that. And you guys isn't like you Asian people.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know what's funny? Like, I don't have video for this podcast yet, so people are going to think I'm like some angry white guy from New Jersey.
Maybe you are.
Dude, somebody thought I was from New Jersey. I'm like, how? It's because I speak English normally, I guess? Right. I don't know, dude. I don't know, man. But society does have has a problem with adversity and failure. And then I'm going to try and link this into what I've been seeing, or what I tried to talk about earlier is the hashtag learn to code, is people are getting offended by it because, one, we're telling you to retrain, and two, in a way, they take it as we're insulting you because you're useless to society and you're not contributing anything. Mm-hmm. Because mainly the learn to code's been kind of targeted towards journalists. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, as we can see, journalism has gone down the shitter. And the good ones, like, you know. Yeah. Like, the good ones, it's like, it's hard for the good ones to do their job. Yeah. Because it's about clickbait. It's about taking advantage of outrage. Mm-hmm. And, you know, for some companies like Twitter or, you know, CNN, like, that kind of journalism is what generates some revenue. Or it's their lifeline, basically. Yeah. What was I trying to say? I was going off on a tangent, dude. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah. Man, if you could change one thing in the world, what would it be?
If I could change one thing in the world, what would it be? That's a tough one. I'd probably go back to the education system.
You change that?
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's not a world thing. That's a U.S. thing. Other places maybe have their education system where it doesn't. I don't know. But for ours...
Okay, how about this? The U.S. The U.S. be education, right?
Yeah. I would change it. I don't even know where to start with it. Like, it's... First, the idea of everybody has to be a winner. That culture there in education that is instilled at such a young age now, I think in the end hurts people the most.
Is it because they have unrealistic expectations of what their life's going to be?
Everybody's not going to be a winner. Winner, quote unquote.
I think what you're trying to say is we need to redefine the definition of success and a winner.
Yes, you're not going to win everything. You're not always going to be on top. And being able to learn how to deal with that, I think, is the life skill that should be taught in school.
I think what should be taught is you need to win at the important things.
That too.
The important thing is, you know, family, if that's possible. You know, your relationship, your friends, because that's the most important thing.
Yeah,
it's other people. If you don't have that, then you can have all the money in the world. If you're the only one in the world, no one gives a shit. You can't buy anything. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
What would I change? I would change the fact that every single Asian woman goes for Americans more than Asians. That's it. That's that fucking shallow. I get tired of seeing all these beautiful Asian women run away from Asian guys. These Asian guys, like, they're so sad, dude. They can't get anyone. They gotta get a mail order bride, dude. They go for, like, these attractive looking Americans. I'm like, shit, man. That's what I'd change. That's my shallow view of the world.
You'd change them. Okay.
Think about it, man. Think about it, man. Like,
I guess you're not a fan of my previous Asian girlfriend, then.
No, that's fine, dude. I ain't giving you shit, man. But it's just like a trend I'm seeing. Like, it might be because like Asian men are viewed as like just a bunch of pussies or something. I don't know, but You do see that, dude, right?
Yeah.
I'm not the only one, but Asian women, white Asian men have the lowest approval rating from Asian women.
I've just noticed more interracial couples in general. People of their race going towards people that aren't their race.
Do you see more? Do you see more white and black, or do you see more? Do you see more from others? If that makes sense. Because I see like
more from minorities with other minorities.
Because I see Latina, Asian, I see Asian, black, I see black, Cuban, or like. I guess what I'm trying to say is American white and black, because I've seen black and like white Europeans, like actual Europeans. I'm not talking about my great grandfather was from Norway, the kind of shit. It's interesting though.
Yeah,
you don't see that much of a. I don't see that much black and American white interracial relationships.
Yeah.
I didn't notice that because I was only noticing the fact that Asian women were running away from Asian men.
You think it's running away? Are you talking about Asian women in America?
Yes, there's a big distinction between. Well, then there's another thing, right? I make this joke a lot. Maybe for in the case of Vietnamese people, I forgot to turn that off, dude. Oh well. In the case of foreign Asian women, let's say Vietnamese, right? They'll marry anybody. You know why? They want to get the fuck out of that country, dude. That's a plane ride and a meal ticket and a Ferrari, dude.
Okay.
They're like, hell yeah, I'll marry you. You 62-year-old morbidly obese American with lung cancer.
Yeah.
And a bag. I don't know. It's like, so, yes, I guess in terms American Asian. So what do you mean? Can you elaborate on, are you talking about Americanized Asian?
Yes. Or is that what you're talking about?
I'm talking about Asians in general, but tell me more about these Americanized Asians, because I'm pretty sure I've seen them anywhere, but I need
I guess my question was like, do you think there is a difference in the kind of values? Like, if you are an Asian man and you are raised by like Asian parents, you're raised to be a certain way that would make sense, like back in Asia. But then you have these Asian girls over here that are Americanized, and they don't value the same thing that these Asian men bring to the table.
It might be that. It might be that the Americanized Asians are running away from your quote-unquote traditional Asians, and
that's exactly what I was trying to say, but you said it much better than I did.
Right. Because there are Americanized Asian males. I mean, look at me, for example.
Yeah.
I resemble nothing of a traditional Vietnamese person.
Yeah.
So I kind of see what you're saying. Maybe it goes back to what I was saying is they view like traditional Asian men as like a bunch of wimps or something.
Maybe so.
Weak. Guess they don't go to the gym or something. I don't know. Maybe they're 4.0 robots.
Yeah. I don't know.
God, one of these days, one of these episodes is going to get me a lot of trouble, dude. Oh well.
Maybe so.
Oh well.
It'll
That's a risk I'm willing to take. I stand by my words.
That's how you make money. You say outrageous stuff, and that's what brings the listeners in.
Oh, dude, You've heard of Alex Jones, right?
Maybe.
Okay. Have you heard of the memes? Have you ever heard of the thing of somebody saying they're turning the frogs gay and putting things in the water?
Nah.
Okay. Alex Jones was this basically. I guess people called him alt-right. I don't think he was alt-right, but he was like basically the loud, brash guy who was, conservative. But he would give shit to everyone. Like, he even gave shit to Trump.
Yeah.
But recently, in this outrage culture, they banned him basically off Twitter, off major social media sites. I have a big problem with that, where it's okay, you can disagree with someone, but just choke somebody out and just get rid of a voice, that's where I have a problem. So, what do you think are the bad or the negatives of that? It's pretty obvious. It's a pretty simple question.
Yeah.
To me. So.
It's also a one-sided question.
Yeah, well, my bad.
No, you good.
I need to work on that, dude.
No. So you asked me, I guess I would have to see more about what this guy was saying exactly.
Right.
Before I could say whether it's positive or negative.
Right. I do need to get more information and
But the negative from that, one, you start discouraging real conversation and discussion about things because people think, shoot, they're just gonna snuff me out like him. I better keep my mouth shut. You People are just gonna start saying real safe stuff, still run of the mill stuff. Nobody's ever gonna be getting out into any real good discussions about things. You're not gonna be able to hear about different point of views different than your own. That's the negative I see in that. Is when you start stuffing out opinions different than yours, you lose perspective.
I think not only you lose perspective, but you lose the spirit of risk taking
Mm-hmm.
in that sense. But that kind of goes back to people's aversion to failure and adversity.
Yeah.
You got less risk takers. Well, that's all I had on that.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you wanted to go more into that.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
What are your negative? So that's your negative on that.
That's what I see is going. I don't.
Do you think there's ever any point where it would be okay to ban somebody from social media sites?
When they're inciting violence.
Okay. So he was not inciting violence.
He wasn't.
Okay.
He was just stating his opinion.
Yeah.
Like, for example, going back to Kathy Griffin, if you're calling for violence by dox these kids and I want their name and their address, nah, you should be that's passing the line.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because now you're talking about killing people.
Yeah.
That's not a good thing. I think we're gonna wrap this up in a second. I know you do both. Technically, in terms of music as an independent contractor and you have a day job. But if you were to pick one of the two, which lifestyle would you prefer?
Like if I were to stop, like I had to stop the other completely.
Yes.
Ooh. We're taking out. We're taking out all like aspects of like my livelihood, being able to survive.
Yes, let's assume that your life is gonna be good and you're sitting on a savings
yeah, well,
of
of course, my music stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, I'd go with that. I mean, I like to say engineering is my interest, but music is my passion. That's what I get excited about. That's what I nerd out about, as some people would say.
I just think the life of just being an independent contractor, I think that's a fun lifestyle because in a way it's because you don't know where your next job can take you. I mean, you could be in Texas, you could be New York, you could be in LA. I mean, it's kind of idealistically, that's kind of a nice way.
But the stuff I do, I could really write from anywhere. So
that's true. You don't even have to go anywhere anymore. You can just write from home, dude.
Yeah.
Imagine that.
Or just take my stuff and go write somewhere. Like I could be on vacation still writing. Or I guess it wouldn't be vacation, but
people, the real American dream, it's not only freedom, it's working from home, dude.
Yeah.
What a great life, dude. You don't have to buy work clothes. You don't even need a car, dude. You can just have a car for fun, dude. You don't even have to have a fuel efficient car. Just get like some stupid 2019 Dodge Challenger Demon or whatever. Because all you gotta do is go to the grocery store.
See, I don't know if I like the idea of working from home. Unless you just mean not working at an office. I don't want my office to be just to be my house. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, I'm looking at it from a view of I can wear whatever I want from the comfort of my home, and I don't have to deal with the commute. That kind of sense.
Yeah, but I also like having to get out. I also like going and also like my coworkers for the most part. So I mean, I think it's
maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm just more antisocial, dude.
It depends. Like I said, it depends on what you mean by work from home. If you mean like I literally have to be at home to do my work, or if you just mean like I don't have to work for somebody else, I don't have to go to an office and work.
I think the latter is what I'm trying to say.
Then yeah, I totally agree with that. Then
yes. Where do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself in 20 years?
20.
If you got a plan. God, this is the episode of loaded questions, dude.
All right, so my plan for 20 years would be I'd have my company called Mockin' and Lotus Productions. I'd be writing music, mixing music. Or I'd have a company that does this anyways. And Doing all kinds of music stuff, writing music for games, film, for not composers, but for performers to play, like pianists, orchestras to play, just developing new musical instruments, all kinds of stuff, just all that good stuff.
It's crazy to think about the next instrument. The
Yeah,
new next
exactly.
instrument. That's
The
crazy.
next thing what's going to be the next piano, you know?
That's so crazy to think about.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to end it, I guess I see myself in 20 years as comfortable. I don't know how else to see it. I don't know how I'm gonna get there. But
Yeah.
I hope I'm comfortable. That's all.
Well,
Whether
that's what matters.
whether it means I live in a room whether it means I live in a studio apartment just by myself or I live in like a big house, I just hope I'm comfortable. You know?
Yeah.
That's the way I see it. Maybe playing video games.
I always
Maybe
playing video games.
Maybe get to a point where I'm lucky enough to make enough passive income where I can just sit at home and play games.
That'd be nice.
That's the dream.
One last thing. Have you seen Sekiro? I think that's how you say it.
Oh, Shadows Die Twice. Oh, I can't wait for that.
I'm so excited for that.
Isn't that coming out in next month?
Yeah, it is.
I'm so glad it's coming out. For
that is a game that I will buy full price. From Software has earned that from me.
Dang, dude. Yeah, I can't wait to play that as well, dude.
Yeah.
You played all of Dark Souls 3 in the DLC, right?
I did not play the second DLC. I played Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, and 3, and then I played Bloodborne.
Oh, Bloodborne was so much fun to me, dude.
Bloodborne is what I consider almost a masterpiece.
Oh yeah, just how aggressive the whole game was, dude. The only shield you get in that game is like a wooden plank.
Yeah.
And I find it hilarious.
But I mean, when I say masterpiece, I mean like every aspect of the game seemed to work together. Like even from how you recover health. So like if you hit somebody, you recover health. That is to encourage a more aggressive play style. Like they are doing things that all line up to a single goal. Like even the music direction, the visuals. I mean, it's all telling a singular story, and that's what I consider a masterpiece.
Oh man, I don't know if you played the DLC for Bloodborne, but Ludwig was my favorite fight.
Just because I hate Ludwig. Dude, I hate him with a passion.
Because the music, man, it just ramps up on the second stage, dude.
No, it's a great fight, but he is difficult. Did you beat him by yourself, or did you have to summon somebody else?
Oh, I beat him by myself. I wasn't going to summon anybody.
Good luck. I mean, I can do it. I can do it.
Man. But Dark Souls 2, I guess the last thing I'll say, Dark Souls 2, that was the weird one, because the map was really disjointed. Yeah. I don't know if you got to the point where there was like a prison area, and then you took an elevator up into the lava area. I'm sitting there, like, whoa, what the fuck am I looking at?
Yeah, it didn't really make sense how it flowed, but it's still a good game though.
It is.
It's still fun to explore and stuff.
I think it was From Software's B team that developed Dark Souls 2.
Could have been.
Which it was still a good, I guess, like, it was a good game.
Yeah.
It just wasn't Dark Souls 1.
Nothing's Dark Souls 1.
Nothing's Demon Souls either, dude.
Yeah, I guess Dark Souls was the first game I played like that, so it's hard for me to compare the others without, because of course I have that feeling from playing the first one for the very first time, that kind of game, so.
Yeah, dude. I'm just so glad that the gaming market or the industry is starting to move back towards, making just good games. I mean, look at Red Dead Redemption 2. I mean, I don't know if you play Battle Royales, but Apex Legends just came out and it's free.
I heard that it was really good,
too. It was really good.
I mean, it's not my kind of game, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just glad that, this whole, I guess, 4 or 5 year drought of just releasing shitty games is just coming to an end, dude.
Yeah. Me and my brother talk about this often, because, like, I can't, like, the PS4, I don't have any games, with the exception of, like, Bloodborne, and I'm just like, man, this is one of the best games I've ever played. There's not a lot of games. I actually buy a lot of indie games, because, like, the big titles, they just don't interest me. Hyper Light Drifter, I don't know if you've heard of that.
I've heard of it, yeah.
That's one of my favorite games right there. But it's an indie game.
I think hopefully music is going to start running back in that direction too, with artists like Anderson .Paak and even like some trap artists. There's one named YBN Corday who's like, he's really funk oriented, even though it's trap.
Yeah.
And, things are starting to move back towards quantity. And then, hopefully with things reverting to that, we're all slowing down a little bit. Society will do the same. We'll kind of get our footing back. We'll all be happier. That's my corny way of ending the episode, I guess.
Awesome.
Well,
let's see if it happens.
Well, Eric, thanks for coming out and dealing with my ranting, dude.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man.
Appreciated all the loaded questions, man.
Yeah, no.
Trying to get me in trouble up here.
I feel like you're throwing shade at me for coming up with these loads. Half those questions I didn't even have on the list, dude. I just wanted to throw them out there, dude.
It's fine, man. It's all good.
All right. Once again, thanks for coming out, dude.
Yeah, man.